Hi everyone, this is Wanda from Time Decide. Today we're going to be making a tiny heart friendship bracelet. We'll get started with our loop, then we'll make the body, which will be the hearts, and then I'll show you how I make the ends. Now, cutting our string, we're going to take 3 strings of white and 1 string of pink. So one of the strings of white should be longer, so we use it to make our loop. Then we'll fold our strings in half, put one finger in the middle of the string and then move towards the left a little and hold it. Now find the string that was longer, that white string there, yes, because we're going to use it to make backward forward knots over the other 3 strings in the bunch. So we're going to be making backward forward knots over all of them together. So this is the half of the backward knot, and then we'll make the half of the forward knot. And then we'll repeat it again, 1/2 of the backward knot and 1/2 of the forward knot, which will be our backward forward knot. Now we're going to repeat this for as many times as we want so we can get the length we need. And while we're repeating this, I'm just going to explain the body real quick. So the body is going to be made up of 3 chevron rows, and I do have tutorials on chevron just in case you haven't done those yet, and then 1 row that we use to make the heart. So this is the size I want for my loop. Now I'm just going to make a start. I told you my loop will be linked, which means that I'll use the string I use for my loop. I'll pull it to the right, and I'm going to be using that string to make forward knots over those other 3 strings on the right. So I'm going to make 1 backward knot, one backward knot. Then I'll take the next white string and make, now we're going to make a forward backward knot with the next white string because of the position of where our string is. So we're going to make a backward knot instead of just a normal backward knot. And then make the forward backward knot on the last string too. Or a backward knot, it depends on the position of your string. Now, so we're done with the right, we're going to move over to the left side. Now we're going to do something similar. Take the string we used for the loop, the other half of the string there, and make a backward knot. Sorry, make a forward knot over all those strings. So 1 forward knot, that's all we need to make. One forward knot. Now take the next white string and make a backward forward knot, or if your string is in the right direction, just make a forward knot. And then do it again, backward forward knot, a backward forward knot, yes. And then when we're done with this, which we are, we're going to officially start our bracelet. So because of the way we're starting, we're not going to make our 3 chevron rows straight. We're just going to attach our string together until when we get to the part where we've attached all 3 white strings on each side. So we'll start with the ones in the middle. Now we take those 2 strings and we're going to make a forward knot. Now be careful when making your forward knot on this part because the forward knots here tend to be a bit tricky and they like to come loose. So I'm going to make my first and second half, then I'm going to pull my first half real tight, and then I will hold it with 1 finger and pull the second one there. First half after the loop. So then taking the next string on the right, I'm going to make 1 backward knot over this string. So this is 1 backward knot, which represents our second chevron row. Move that to the left, take the next middle. Take the middle string and the one beside it on the left and make two. So now we're going to be making two forward knots, one over each string. We're done with our second chevron row. Now I'm taking the next two strings. The second string, second to the last on the right, and we're going to make two backward knots. Yes, two backward knots. I'm sorry, please excuse my voice. I still have a bit of a cold just in case. Now that we're done with that, we're going to put that on one side because I'm going to show you how I segment knot this part. So take this first white string on the beside the pink on the right and make one forward knot over the pink string. Now take the second white and make another forward knot over that pink string, moving the string closer to the middle. There. Now we have that. We're moving right back to the left because we're going to complete our last chevron row. So we take the second to the last string from the left and we're going to make three forward knots. Three forward knots. Now we're going to use that pink string that we moved closer to the middle and go one over that. So we're going to go one backward knot over the white string that we made three forward knots with. There. Now we've started our row for the chevron, for the heart, and we're done with the right. So now on the left side, we're going to take those two white strings and make one backward knot over the pink string each. So I'm currently making one. Now take the next one, the next white string beside that, and make another backward knot. Move that to one side. Now we're going to make two forward knots with that pink string. So we're going to make one forward knot over the white and one forward knot over the pink that's currently in the middle. Now what I showed you is how to segment knot this, and I'll be showing you how to knot it normally after this. Now that we're done, we're going to make our chevrons. So I said we're making three chevron rows, which means we're going to take the strings on edge and make three backward knots on the right and then four forward knots on the left. So basically just bringing the strings on the edge to the middle. That's what we're going to be doing throughout this row, throughout this period. Now, if you do not know how to make a chevron, this is a very easy bracelet. In fact, it's a very good beginner bracelet because we just have two steps in this bracelet. But you should also try to start with the other ones like candy stripe and chevron. I have tutorials for both and I will link them in the card and description. You should check out those ones too and see if you find those ones easier. And if you don't know the knots that I've been calling, because I've not really been showing the knots well, then I think you should also check out a video that explains it. I have one, but if you don't want that, you could watch other videos too. We have one more chevron row to go through before we start making our heart row again. Now we've completed the row that we were doing on the right, and now we're starting with the left. When we finish this part, we're going to start making our hearts, our tiny hearts. Okay, now that we're done with both, we're going to, start with the ones on the right. So we're going to take the second to the last string on the edge of the right and make one forward knot over the one on the right, which would be the pink, and take the string that is now there and make another forward knot over that pink string. Use the pink string and make one forward knot over the remaining white string. Sorry, one backward knot over the remaining white string. Now do the opposite on the left, which means we're going to be taking the white string that is closest to the pink and making one backward knot. Now we'll take the next white string and make another backward knot. Now, moving those to the left, take the pink because we're going to make two forward knots with that pink, one over the remaining white string and one over the pink in the middle to connect it. And there, that's our heart. So I'm going to make more off camera and then I'll just come back and show you how I make the ends for this one. Remember to make as many as you want and as little as you want. So here we are at the end of our bracelet. I'm going to be making a triangle start, so I'll start on the right as usual. I'm going to be taking the second to the last string from the right, and I'm going to make a forward knot over the pink string, which is the one on the edge. And then I'll take the next string, which will be our second white, and I'm going to make another forward knot over those two strings together. And then I'll take the next one, which is our last white string, and I'm going to make a forward knot over all three together. And there, I've completed one side, so I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to take the second string from the left and I'm going to make a backward knot over the first string, which is the pink string again. And now I'll take the next string, which is our second white string, and I'm going to make another backward knot over those two strings together, or as one. Anyhow, taking the last string, I'm going to make another backward knot over those three once. There. Now we are going to be making our ties, and for this I'm going to be making fishtail braids. Yeah, fishtail braids. So I'm going to take my string and do two on one side, two on the other side, and I'm going to put the ones on the edges to the middle, like I'm doing now. Take the one on the edge, move it towards the left and right edge, move it towards the middle, the left edge, move it towards the middle, right edge again towards the middle, left edge towards the middle, and just keep going like that until we get to the end of our bracelet. Now, I said you should watch chevron, so I have another chevron tutorial that'll probably pop up on the screen. You can try making that if you're a very good beginner, and then you can move up to harder bracelets from there, because it's basically a chevron that has tiny little dots. So it's like this bracelet you just finished here, it has chevron rows. My name is Sam Josiah on Instagram, on Pinterest, and on Facebook. So if you've made any and you want to show me what you have made, you can tag me in your post and I'll check it out. Obviously, I'm just going to snip it off, and then so remember to watch the dotted chevron tutorial that'll pop up on the screen if you want to. I hope everybody's having a nice day, and bye.